There hasn't been a lot of harassment during my classes. There's been kind of one class where it's happened a few times. It happened today. There was just like this one guy who seemed like it. I mean, he kind of seemed like he was doing coughing harassment a little bit. I just let him do it. It was he's like I know it was like I let him cough for a few minutes. Didn't say anything. Did not give him a reaction. It kind of wasn't really worth it. And the thing is though, and then he stopped because nobody else seemed to do it. I think had something to do with it. The thing is though, as my situation is really, really bad, mostly because of the videos. Because no matter what else happens with the wet floor signs or the caution cones or any of that stuff, I mean, that stuff is actually not as bad as it was a few years ago. It's not happening as much. It really shouldn't be happening at all, but it's not happening as much as it was. I think as people are able to, as the people who caused it, and women who participated in it are able to see that it affects their lives. It's bad for everyone. It's not just about me. It really is a full-scale attack on women around the world. And I think that there are women who are understanding that, even if they didn't understand it before, and they're probably just not participating. They're discouraging it. I think that has to be happening because it's not as bad as it was. It should not be happening at all. But it's not as bad as it was. The video thing, I mean, and it might entirely go away. That would be good. But the video thing is never going to go away. That's permanent for me. So that is really what makes my particular situation really, really bad. And it is awful. It's horrible. It's horrible, to know that for the rest of my life I'll be meeting people who are total strangers to me who have seen those videos of me, and may or may not have a particular idea of what kind of person I am based on that. My blogs get censored. The things that I have to say get ridiculed. And and I've said it before. I mean, there really is to have people laugh at you is not the same thing as them being able to hurt your feelings, but it as a practical consideration, it's important because it means they don't take you seriously. It means that there's stuff that you can't do that you ought to be able to do. It means that they can really, really ruin your life. That's what it means. I am not, someone who's in grade school just feeling bad because people bully me. It's the kind of thing where people having a general idea of what kind of person you are affects the way that they treat you. So opportunities are closed off to me because I am treated that way. It can lead to worse things. It can also just kind of stay at that same level of just chronic disrespect. Not being taken seriously, not being believed, not being thought of as someone who is an important person. Just important, like kind of just your average person is even important, right? To be able to do stuff, to be able to get stuff done. Being made to wait for things when I shouldn't have to wait. Sorry, excuse me. I mean, I know there's lots of people who know what that's like to be in general. You walk in somewhere, you are of a group that's marginalized, and you just have to stand there, wait at the counter till somebody feels like talking to you or serving you, or people refuse to do it. They shut the cash register down and say, "Oh, sorry, we're closed." That kind of thing. Those are things that are they're not only degrading, it's also interrupts your life, makes things harder for you. And that stuff can happen, it kind of from the most I'm sorry, excuse me. I am sorry. I never cough people on purpose. It can happen kind of from things that are not that big of a deal, but still bad. Something like that. To not being able to go to school. Not being able to be at school and not being harassed. That kind of thing. But as far as like my particular situation, the worst thing about it for me is the video problem. It is horrible. And if I'm not walking around crying all the time, if I'm able to focus on things in class, it's because I am able to put that stuff aside enough to be able to do what I have to do. What am I going to do? I'm going to bring every single person in every classroom I ever walk into my tragedy, sit there and say, yeah, it upsets me. Yeah, I wish this never happened to me. Yeah, I'm suicidal, most of the time to a certain extent because of this. No, I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? But it doesn't mean I don't think about it. I think about it all the time. It doesn't mean I'm not aware of what people are thinking about me, what they might be seeing. I have never seen the videos of me. I stopped looking for them a while ago feeling like, you know what, it's going to be so traumatic, I might as well, and I might as well wait until I can't even avoid them anymore, because that's probably going to happen to me. There's no need for me to actually look at them to feel as bad as I'm possibly going to feel about them. I don't need to keep looking for them. I'm sure eventually somebody will tell me where they are, and then there it will be, you know, and hopefully I will have had enough time to prepare myself for it emotionally, so that I'm not totally devastated by it and have a nervous breakdown and have to go to the hospital. Right? That's kind of how I have decided to deal with it. But it doesn't mean it doesn't upset me. It doesn't mean it's all right with me. It doesn't mean any of that. Yeah. So there's that. But as far as like me just being harassed is concerned in general, yeah, in some ways it could. In some ways, it's all of the stuff that's happening is worse for just kind of people out there than it is for me. You know, women who are just out there that you never heard of. Who maybe they can talk about it, maybe they talk about what's happening to them, you know, maybe they talk about it on social media, things that are happening to them in school, things that are happening to them at work. They're, you know, talking to each other that way, sharing their experiences, that kind of thing. Maybe some of them participate as bullies because they haven't thought about what the consequences of it really are to them as a group, as women. But I am probably in a better situation in some ways than kind of just regular people out there who are affected by this, because, you know, as much as people want to use those videos against me, and certainly they have, and they knew from the first second they started getting video like that of me, they knew they were going to use it as a social and professional weapon against me. That's the real purpose of that stuff, and everything that's said about all of it has as the purpose to make people not take me seriously, to make people think badly of me, to make me seem like there is absolutely nothing to me except naked video of me, you know, and of course they omit every time there's a mention of this, the fact that I did not choose this, and it's happening to me against, you know, it's happening to me against my will, you know, without my consent. There's no other way to say it. You know, it's happening against my will. It's happening without my consent. I say no about it all the time, and every mention, every reference to that situation has omitted my protest, right? And I even get censored from talking about it, while those videos are, like, you know, shown all over the world, I suppose, with what kind of legal support? There's no legal support for it. They're just ignoring the law. That's what they're doing, like they are with so many other sexual crimes. Yeah, you know, but aside from that, which is a serious and terrible scourge upon my life, which the people who are promoting it absolutely know and are using as a weapon and always have. I am kind of in a better situation than just kind of regular women out there, regular girls out there, because, you know, lots and lots of important people know that whatever my problems are, I'm pretty smart, and I say pretty intelligent things a few times a week. And if I can get past this, if I can find a way to deal with it, I could possibly have, you know, a good future. I could have a good career. I certainly have the ability. It's just that my situation is bad. There are lots and lots of, you know, people who have a lot of power who know that about me. They don't. They may or may not be on my side, but they know that about me. And all those other women out there, they don't have that. They don't have anything like that. They have nothing that gives them any kind of prestige whatsoever, that gives them any kind of support whatsoever, that gives them any kind of recognition for who they are as human beings at all. In that way, I am better off than everybody else who's being affected by this, really, for the most part. Yeah. So I don't really know what to say about this. You know, it is a truly a horrible misogynist attack on women's rights around the world. It really is.